Okay, hi, I'm Alan, and those of you that know me on Facebook will probably know me as Alan Phoenix. The reason I'm here to talk today is that I've become disturbed at some rather recent reports in the news about LGBTQ youth that are committing suicide because of bullying and various other things that have happened in their lives that's negative. And I became concerned about that. As a citizen of this country, we shouldn't be treating our children so badly that it would make them commit suicide or even think of it. And it reflects on American society that we need to do a better job of caring about our children. So I'm here today to talk to you about, I guess, a little bit about my background and my story and my brief consideration of suicide myself, and then I'd like to share with you how by not committing suicide I'm here today and how things got much better for me. So you'll see me look down from time to time to refer to my notes. I want to make sure I cover a few things, so you'll have to excuse me if I do that. As far as challenges in my life, probably the first and foremost is that I was severely and sustainedly abused by my natural parents for about 11 and a half years. What I mean by that are things like not being put in school, not getting medical attention, not getting fed. In fact, I remember quite a few nights where I'd have to go and look in the dumpsters to find food to eat for the night, getting beat on a regular basis, getting chased around in shopping centers with knives and beer bottles and stuff like that. And unfortunately, I have the scar from one time they managed to actually get me in my leg. And the way things were going, since my parents were involved with the mob and they were alcoholics and they had numerous other problems, the way things were going in my life, if I didn't call up social services in the police department when I did, I wouldn't be talking to you here today. I would already be dead at their hands. So back on July 6th of 1981, I took a chance and I made a call to 911 in downtown Norfolk, Virginia. I told the police, I said, here's what's happened. This situation's not good for me. Help me. Get me out of here. And sure enough, they did. Now, when I made that call, I actually thought about this two ways. I figured at absolute worst, what would happen is my natural parents would catch up to me and they'd kill me that much faster, in which case that ends my misery that much faster. Or somehow, in the long shot hope, I would actually make it through and actually make something productive of my life. Well, police came and got me. I was put in foster care. In March of 1982, I was then legally declared an orphan because nobody in the natural family wanted me or wanted anything to do with me, and I was put in foster care for 7 years. So I guess that kind of brings me to the next challenge, of course, in foster care. As you may or may not know, in the system, you typically in foster care are going to get moved around a lot. Well, I did. I got moved around 36 times in the 7 years. One of the big reasons for that is that my natural parents had this uncanny knack for finding out which home or which group home I was at, and they would come and create a scene. They threatened the foster parents. In fact, in a couple of cases, they even brought weapons. Thankfully, I wasn't around during most of those encounters. I found out about it after I got home from school or after I got home from running around town for the day. So got moved around, again, like I said, 3 dozen times. Made it very difficult to stay in school, try to make friends, do all the other things that, quote, normal kids would do. I actually wanted to join the Boy Scouts at one point, but couldn't because of all the moving around. So during my foster care experience, I also had another encounter I had to survive where 5 kids in a group home decided that they wanted to bash me both because I was gay and because I was at the highest level in the group home behavior system. I had essentially the same privileges as a staff member for coming in and out of the home. I could stay out late as long as I got my work done and I got my chores done, and so they were jealous of that. So it was 5 of them. The plan that they had was to start off by throwing ice balls at me and then close in for the kill, so to speak. I'll tell a little bit more about how I got through that encounter and saw to it that they never bothered me again. So that was in foster care, and then just as foster care was coming to a close for me, I had to survive yet another ordeal. Something that my natural parents never told me about is that apparently I had a congenital heart condition, and as such my aortic valve was failing. By the time the problem started affecting me, the doctor said pretty much I'd have about 2 weeks to live if I didn't get open heart surgery to replace that valve. So I had to survive that issue as well. Now, during all of this, of course, I probably, like most people in negative circumstances, thought about committing suicide and just ending it all. I mean, it's like, why on earth am I here having to endure one life-threatening battle after another and having to endure all this negativity? And I thought about it for a brief moment, like several times. And then in the end, I always thought, well, wait a minute, I'm kind of the type that tends to fight his way out of things. And quite frankly, I felt that I was running away from a battle, that I was chickening out, that I was taking the easy way out. And that's not me. That's not really what I want to be known for. So I made the conscious decision to ignore any temptation to commit suicide, and instead I chose to fight my way out of it, to get some intestinal fortitude, and to stay focused. And I primarily did that by focusing on my schoolwork and by trying to help others around the group homes and things of that nature as best as I could.